We're standing here in the complex of the King Hamad American Mission Hospital, a smart, futuristic hospital which believes in holistic healing. And we are with the man who's put it all together, the CEO and CMO, Dr. Cheriyan. Dr. Cheriyan, you spoke in your inaugural address about holistic healing, and we're standing in this lush green garden. Apart from the many technologies that you have in place at the hospital, tell us what you mean by healing outside the four walls.
The concept of healing is healing the body, mind and spirit of man. Focus in healthcare has been just to focus on healthcare of the body. If you don't attend to the mind, which is responsible for 80% of all these somatic illnesses, then your healing and health is only partly resolved. So when we conceived building this hospital, holistic healing, as far as I was concerned, is to bring nature within the four walls of a hospital and to take the technology that's within the four walls of a hospital outside into the community and into the homes of patients. Patients heal best in their home environments. And how can technology help that healing to take place? So within the four walls of the hospital, we have paid particular attention to the glass that brings in natural light and greenery within the four walls, so that from every inpatient room and every inside of the hospital, you can see water features and greenery. So the design was a bit challenging and complex, but we achieved it. Now if you walk around and see it, you will find the greenery and the water features not just on the ground floor here, but in different parts of the hospital.
So Doctor, the hospital was inaugurated on 26th of January 2023 to coincide when the first hospital opened in 1903. So it's a long and illustrious history that the American Mission Hospital has. I want you to tell me, how did you make all of this possible, especially when all the construction happened during COVID? What was the thought process behind it?
We had planned that the hospital would be complete in about 24 months. That would be around about November of 2022. So nearing completion, we suddenly realized that the 120th year anniversary fell on the 26th of January. And that's how we picked that date for the official opening of the hospital. So it wasn't a mad dash to finish everything by the 26th of January, but the timeline was quite tight, the budgets were tight, and the quality was very high. And in the midst of COVID, thank God we managed to achieve all of the above.
So this beautiful mural behind me, there's a special story. Can you take us through?
Yes, the mural depicts the history of the American Mission Hospital and the history of Bahrain, which are intertwined. So what started off in what you see in the background is the Arad Fort and the old American Mission Hospital, which was first opened in 1903. And as you look down the mural, you will begin to see this hospital, the new hospital that was just inaugurated a few days ago. And this is New Bahrain. The new Babel Bahrain and the modern Bahrain. So the history of Bahrain intertwines with the history of the American Mission Hospital.
So Doctor, you've built this world-class hospital and you've also made world-class associations. You're also partnering with the best hospital in the world, the Mayo Clinic. And they were also surprised at the meticulousness with which the hospital was built. Tell us a little bit more about that relationship and what do you think it will bring to Bahrain?
A smart hospital or a world-class hospital by itself does not make a world-class healthcare system. A system involves multiple other links within an ecosystem, and that's what makes it smart. Even Mayo Clinic on its own is not a global healthcare system. It provides care for patients who go to Mayo. And similarly, the King Hamad American Mission Hospital by itself doesn't make it a total healthcare system. But the moment hospitals collaborate across geographic boundaries, and once we exchange expertise and technology, then you begin to build an ecosystem that is larger than a single hospital at place. So we knew right at the outset that collaboration is the only way, and it's like a ripple effect. You have to move out. Right. And this collaboration makes it truly world-class. The Royal College of Surgeons of Ireland, 300-year history, has got a branch here in Bahrain, a not-for-profit organization, 15 years. It's medical students, nursing students who train here. They have got a location on the 5th floor of this hospital. Mayo
we're
Clinic.
teaching
It is
hospital.
a teaching hospital. So teaching brings in teaching, research, training. Without teaching, research and training, you cannot call it world class. You can deliver healthcare at a very high standard, but it cannot be a world class system. So to attract the physicians who are going to be the healthcare providers, the physicians who are going to be the teachers and trainers, to attract them, you need to have these collaborations. So that's why we went for this collaboration. And Mayo is not a difficult, it's not an easy partner to actually bring in, because their standards are
Very high.
So unless they see that there is synergy in this partnership, they would not actually sign up to a collaboration. And we certainly delivered it for the country.
And I think these collaborations, these partnerships also build a pipeline for the future, because then, like you said, to build that ecosystem is important. What are the new specializations that you're bringing in with the hospital?
I said at the opening, King Hamad American Mission Hospital is not just another hospital. The first thing that we would actually bring to Bahrain through the King Hamad American Mission Hospital is world-class expertise that are locally delivered. If you needed a consult for a complicated problem, you don't have to travel all the way to Mayo or any other place. You can come here and we would source that expertise for you. Concierge medicine is to bring to you, the patient, affordable, high-quality healthcare that is world-class for the need of the patient. And King Hamad American Mission Hospital can do that, regardless of specialty. So if you were to ask me what specialties we have here, we have every specialty, from primary, secondary, and tertiary care. But within the primary, secondary, tertiary care, if a patient needed something very special, something very exclusive, something very rare, King Hamad American Mission Hospital can source it and deliver it at an affordable cost to the patient.
When you mention affordable cost, we had this conversation that the pricing is going to be the same as Manama. And that to me is such a fantastic way of doing it, when you're providing all these services under one roof and you're still keeping it affordable for the common man. But I do believe you have some really nice royal suites as well that we'd like to check out.
Sure. The American Mission Hospital is a not-for-profit hospital. So the monies that individuals pay to receive care here goes back into the development of the hospital and for patient care. So in that respect, whether a patient comes to either of our facilities, Banama, Amwaj, Reef or SAR, or they come here, the costs are the same. There's no difference in consult fee, medicines, labs, everything is the same. The only difference is if the patients choose to have a royal suite room or a super deluxe room, that is priced higher for the room only. But all the charges are the same. But our standard rooms, which you will see, a luxurious room, are priced exactly as our rooms in Manama.
So doctor, you had a long, illustrious career as a doctor, as an administrator. What do you think was your biggest achievement, and what do you think was your biggest challenge?
I wouldn't say that there has been one thing that I can say, one milestone that was a big achievement. Or one thing that was a big challenge. As a physician, and as you move from being a very young physician out of med school and after postgraduate training, and as you mature out, you suddenly realize that much of what we physicians think that we are capable of doing, we suddenly realize that it is not us that do the healing. There is a greater power that actually does the healing. And we are just instruments. Like any other profession, in the hands of God that actually allows us to do the things that we do. And I always remember, this was Mother Teresa's quote, and she says that the hands that heal are holier than the lips that pray. And for me, my life's journey has been to use the talents and the time that God has given me to make a difference in the lives of people. So for me, the greatest challenge for me today, as I look at healthcare, back and forward, looking into the future of healthcare, is to make the high quality healthcare equitable for both the rich and the poor. The rich can always access healthcare, but what about the poor? So my passion and life's journey is to make this quality of care equitable for everyone.
You have such a busy schedule. Do you find time for yourself? And in the time that you do find, apart from thinking about work and this hospital and how to do something for the medical community, do you do something just for yourself? Do you have other hobbies?
Yeah, I enjoy reading very much, and I'm a continuous lifelong learner. So I find that even at this stage of my career and life, there's so much to learn. I'm not the Gen X or the millennial generation. So everything that is around today in terms of technology, digitization is new for my generation. So there is a dearth of stuff that I learn every day by reading. So for me, there is no void in my life. And if I'm not working, if I'm not chasing healthcare around the world, then my time is actually spent.
So, what are you reading these days?
I read a lot. Usually I read 3 or 4 books at the same time, and I've got a very quirky habit of being in several different chapters. And what I do is, for some reason, my brain seems to connect on one book that I read on leadership to another book that I'm reading on spirituality, and yet another book I read on mindfulness. So recently I've been reading a book on mindfulness by Simon Sinek. Red ocean strategies versus blue ocean strategies. And it is pretty relevant to what I'm actually doing today, because normally companies thrive. It's a win-lose. And yet for me, I want a win-win. So you have to create your own roadmap and be a leader so that others are followers. When you have to be a follower, obviously people have thought of things ahead of you and you want to try to copy and follow them. So I want to be on a path of creating blue oceans where it's not because of competition, where there is originality of thought, and where you take a road that other people haven't traveled or thought of, and that is creative, and that's my brain.
So, what has been the most important piece of advice or something that you remember that someone has ever given you, and what advice as a medical professional you'll give to our viewers?
The advice that I would give for viewers is, health is the most precious commodity. You can have everything in life, but if you do not have health, you have nothing. And it is up to us to preserve health. The future of health care is keeping people healthy rather than fixing health when people have lost it. So the only advice I have for people is, for your viewers and readers, is that stay healthy. That is your biggest life saving.
And the piece of advice that you've got?
The piece of advice that I've got is always stay humble. There are always people who know far more than you and who are smarter than you. And that is true. To all the lifestyle readers, create the lifestyle that you want to live. Health has to be a great part of your lifestyle. And so, with what little I've shared with you, I hope that you would actually use this opportunity, use health as a pivot on which your lifestyle is created. Thank you.